Good evening and welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Alex Lord. The 5-3 first place Falcons host America's team, slight favorites at home. Coming into the season, I think a lot of people look forward to this game. There's going to be a ton of Cowboys fans in the building. There's going to be a ton of eyes on this game because of who the Cowboys are. And they've got a lot of turmoil. They've got a lot of injuries. And they frankly haven't looked like the Cowboys maybe a lot of people expected. I mean, I was pretty high on the Cowboys, down on the Eagles this year. And I think the Cowboys, especially defensively without Dan Quinn, have taken a massive step back, and injuries have obviously played a huge part in that. They were coming off a tough loss, but this is still a team that on any given Sunday can put it all together. Dak Prescott, one of the better quarterbacks in the league. We saw them beat the Steelers a couple of weeks ago, who the Falcons lost to. No reason, just like the Seahawks a few weeks ago. You have an opportunity here to beat them. There's no doubt about that. But they're a very similar team in the Seahawks that on any given week, they can come in there and smack you in the face if you're not prepared.
Yeah, I mean, they still got guys. There's no doubt about that. They get paid too. I love saying that because, seemingly every NFL team does, but I'm in a Falcons fan bubble where I see Falcons fans, and I was saying it ahead of the Seahawks game that they get paid too, guys. Like you get, and we're not good enough just to write anybody off. Like no matter, the only team I think you can write off comfortably now is the Panthers, and even then, do it at your own peril. Yeah. And the Cowboys defense is horrible. But I don't think it's a Dan Quinn thing. It's not a Mike Zimmer thing. Their best guys are out. Their best players have been out. Micah Parsons hasn't played since, week 4 or 3, whenever they played the Giants. DeMarcus Lawrence hasn't played. Deron Bland hasn't played.
He looks like he's going to come back this week, though.
Yeah, he is. And a lot of these guys are, up in the air in terms of their statuses. We'll learn more as the week progresses. But, that defense, if some of these guys go, is still very capable of shutting down a Falcons offense that has been inconsistent, very good lately, but, against how good a defense is. The Bucs defense, the Panthers defense, we know are absolutely horrible. And then on the flip side of things, thank God, because the Falcons run, the Cowboys run game is absolutely pitiful. It sucks. It's one of the worst in the league.
Zeke Elliott didn't change that?
This is him and Dalvin Cook. Yeah, real shocking stuff shocked. There. This is the quintessential movable object, stoppable force. Falcons run defense can't stop a nosebleed. Cowboys run game can't get anything going despite Mike McCarthy's genius. I don't really know what to expect with this one because these are two teams that really haven't. I know the Falcons are 5-3. We sit atop the division, sweep the Bucs, which is, honest. Hang your hats on that. But who are the Falcons? Who are the 2024 Falcons? And the Cowboys certainly don't have an identity. And a lot of that has to do with injuries and things like that. They certainly don't have an offensive identity, though. This is a game that I don't know even, how you could confidently predict what's going to happen on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the Falcons and Cowboys are in two very similar positions. Aside from their coaching staffs, one being there for a while and being established, and the other, they have been very poor defensively. Some of that has to do with defenses. They both have quarterbacks that are capable on any given Sunday to go out there and put up 28, 30 points. They have weapons on the outside. Their run game, obviously, the Falcons have the edge, but the Cowboys are capable of putting up points with the weapons that they have in Dak Prescott, especially against this Falcons defense, and vice versa. The Falcons are capable of putting up points on the Cowboys defense. It doesn't matter who plays because it's 100%. They're not going to be healthy. They're not going to look fantastic, and they have been shredded. They were shredded by the Saints. They were shredded by the 49ers, pretty much the Ravens, and those are very good offenses, but the Falcons have a very good offense. So there's no reason the Falcons shouldn't be able to come out here, hang up 28, 30 points. It could be a race to 30 points in Atlanta. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm expecting because expecting this Falcons defense to turn around. I know they got some guys getting healthy. Hopefully Justin Simmons is back because Richie Grant was absolutely atrocious. That guy shouldn't even be on the roster at this point. I don't care that he was a second-round pick, so hopefully he's back. Maybe we get Troy Anderson back. Maybe we get Drew Dalman back on the offensive side of the ball. Ruccaroro probably not going to play, so you lose a little bit more on the defensive line. But regardless, this seems like the quintessential who's going to score 30 points first, who has the ball last, and that's the way that I look at it.
It does feel like one of those games is going to be a high-scoring affair. Obviously, these two teams are built for it. Dallas's offense has struggled mightily at times this season. But, the way the NFL goes, this is going to be a mucky, 13-17 game. That's just how it goes. I would anticipate a high scoring affair. I've been wrong before. This is just a game for me. I feel like last week, I knew how that Bucs game was going to go. It went about what if the Falcons were going to win, it went about what I thought was going to happen. And that is Jesse Bates, somebody in the secondary taking advantage of some Aaron Baker Mayfield throws. And we did. Thank goodness we did. This one, really hard to peg. I would just say it's going to be a high-scoring affair. I'd say Dak Prescott has one of his better games of the season because this is, I'm really afraid CeeDee Lamb's going to make this secondary look, pedestrian. Really, really need Justin Simmons back. Would love to have Troy Anderson back for that second level. But this one's just hard to peg for me. This is going to be I think an interesting game in terms of who the Falcons can be because the trade deadline, this is the final game before the trade deadline. It's that kind of, who you are. You're about halfway through the season, but there's still plenty of time to get better. And this is the final game to be like, all right, something's got to be done at this spot. We all know it's at the pass rush.
Yeah, to me, I think, yes, it's a difficult game to peg and who's going to win, which Falcons team is going to show up, which Cowboys team is going to show up for that matter. But it seems like every single Falcons game has one determinator, and that's whether Jesse Bates makes a big play. And if he makes a big play and the 5 wins, it's like whether it's a pick, it's multiple pass breakups and fourth down or third down situation, whether it's forced fumbles, the Falcons come out on top. He has been the game changer for the Atlanta Falcons in all 5 of their wins. I mean, you can basically point to him as the number one reason that they have won those games. And yes, other guys have performed. Kirk Cousins especially has looked great of late. But without Jesse Bates, the Falcons don't win most of those games. And he's been the difference. Can he do the same thing on Sunday? And he's probably going to have an opportunity. Dak Prescott, just like Baker Mayfield, willing to put the ball in harm's way. The Cowboys are probably going to have to score points. So he's going to be more willing to put the ball in harm's way. I think what it comes down to is Jesse Bates making a big play because this defense is not going to stop the Falcons or the Cowboys consistently. There's absolutely no reason to believe that is going to change this week. They can't get pressure. The Cowboys are going to be willing to take the stuff underneath. They do have the weapons on the outside to go deep if they need to. The secondary hasn't been that good in coverage, especially with no pass rush. There's no reason to believe they're all of a sudden going to be able to stop them. Falcons offense has to play well. Jesse Bates, Justin Simmons, one of those guys has to make a big play. That's been the formula for the Falcons winning, particularly after the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, offensively, I would say, the Cowboys run defense, they're soft in the middle, real soft. They spent a first round pick on Mazi Smith. Michigan, really, really developing good pros there. Why would you go to Michigan, Bryce Underwood?
But crazy thing to put in there.
But, they're soft in the middle. So, to me, that screams heavy, heavy, heavy dosage of Tyler Algier, Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson had another good game last week. Tyler Algier didn't have as good of a game. For my money, that's what I would be doing. I would be pounding the rock, trying to keep Dak Prescott and that Cowboys offense off the field. If you can get up and kind of force the Cowboys to play from behind while controlling the clock, maybe we'll get the pass rush going. That's a great way to, the Cowboys are going to throw the ball because they can't run the ball, and they're playing from behind as well. It's a great way to kind of get this manufacture some sort of pressure. I think that's the formula for success. But again, this one's hard to peg for me.
Yeah, one of the last times Adrian Claiborne, the Falcons or the Cowboys visited, 6 sacks, as many sacks in one game against the Cowboys as the Falcons have all this season. Maybe this is the game where the Falcons finally break out. I definitely have my hesitations on that thing. I think it's going to be a very, very good game.
I think it would be pretty funny, though, at the midway point in the season to look up and be like, the Falcons have 6 wins and we also have 6 sacks.
I mean, it just shows how much better you can get at the trade deadline, in my opinion. I mean, if you're 6-3 and you have this offense rolling like it has been more often than not, and they can roll again against the Cowboys, and you have a commanding lead in the defense in the division. I believe the Bucs play the Chiefs this week. Not saying the Chiefs have been world beaters, even though they're undefeated, but without Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, another opportunity for the Falcons here to just build on this lead. You go into the trade deadline, and that has to give Terry Fontenot the confidence to go for it this season. So this is a big week. Like you said, going into the trade deadline, getting a win over a team you probably should beat at home.